This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, it's now 6:30 and I'll call this town council meeting to order. First thing will be the invocation, and Mr. Schaefer from the Discovery Church is not here this evening, so Councilmember Drake is going to do the invocation.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this evening. Thank you for bringing us all together to do the town's business at Surfside Beach. And keep us all safe, make good decisions tonight, God, and the right way to go with the town. In His name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'll entertain any motions relating to the agenda. And if there's no motions relating to the agenda, the next thing is the minutes approval, which are the minutes approval for September 26, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the September 26, 23 regular meeting.
Second.
And before we take a vote on it, does anybody have any discussion about it? Sherry?
Mr. Drake,
Yes.
Mr. Holder,
Yes.
Mr. Kinkin,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Krecklau,
Yes.
Mr. Samey,
Yes.
Mayor Howard.
Yes. Okay, so that passed. The next thing is the public comments, and these are public comments pertaining to things that are on the agenda this evening. So anybody that has public comments, please feel free to step forward. Okay. Moving down to communications. First thing on the agenda on that is Little Miss South Carolina overall queen, Isabel Lewis. Give me a second. I don't have that. There we go. Okay, Isabel Lewis is a 17-year-old daughter of Wayne and Colleen Lewis and has lived in Surfside Beach her entire life. Isabel is Little Miss South Carolina's overall queen 2023 and was awarded over $5,500 at the state pageant and many other gifts. Little Miss and Teen Miss South Carolina in one of South Carolina's oldest pageant systems for children and young adults, founded in 1971 by the late Linda Lloyd in Sumter, South Carolina. Over $30,000 was awarded in the 2023 state pageant. The MSC pageant promotes community service and academic excellence, as well as encouraging poise and positive self-esteem. LMSC has partnered with Prism Health Children's Hospital and raised over $50,000 at the 2023 state pageant and almost $600,000 since partnering with them in 2002. Isabel received a Gold Presidential Award this summer for completing over 250 hours of community service, and the Silver Presidential Award last summer for completing 175 hours. Isabel loves to serve her community and recently participated in KSBB's Beach Sweep. She is honored to represent South Carolina, the Grand Strand, and especially Surfside Beach this year, and encourage young men and women to get involved in their communities and become role models for our youth. Her passion for making a positive difference in the people around her, especially the young generation, has led her to pursue a career in secondary education. Isabel is a true beach girl and loves where she lives. She is a fifth generation born and raised in Horry County. girl who loves sunrises, surfing, online shopping, hanging out with her friends, and going to the gym. But her true love has always been dance. Isabel is a St. James High School senior, an honor student, and proud member of the Sharkeys dance team. They are back-to-back top 10 finalists at NDA Nationals in Florida and former South Carolina High School Dance Association state champion in 2020 in hip hop and 2021 in the game day division. She is also awarded top All-American dancer at the NDA camp and asked to join their staff after graduation. Isabel also competitively dances and trains at NXT LVL Dance Experience in Merle's Inlet. You can catch them performing at many local events and festivals on the Grand Strand and traveling the state for competitions and conventions. Isabel was a shy girl, but she found her confidence through dance. She wants to help other people find what makes them confident and happy and encourage young girls to a healthy self-image and loves themselves no matter what shape they are or size. Isabel attends Bellum United Methodist Church in Merle's Inlet, contributes to her success to God, and hopes to raise him in everything she does. Let's hear it from
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Fred, take your picture. You're not used to that at all, are you? Great job. Thank you.
Congratulations.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
All right, moving right along, the next thing in B is the proclamation 23-0139, Fire Prevention Week. By Chief Carter.
Mr. Mayor, Council, Mr. Vincent, staff, most of all our citizens, business leaders, good evening. Fire prevention is very important in fire service. It's taught to prevent deaths, injuries, and so forth from fire-related incidents. But you have to have real good people whenever it comes to this. And before you read a proclamation, I'd like to ask two people to come up, stand up forward here, please. Fire Marshal Keith Williams and Engineer Casey Crooks, would you please come up? These two individuals work tirelessly throughout the year to make sure that we provide excellent service to our citizens, to our visitors, whether it's fire inspections, whether it's home visits, and those types of events. We have open house coming up this Saturday, which our emphasis, Fire Marshal Williams will talk about here in a second as you read the proclamation. And we got two great individuals here that you should be very proud of helping this department succeed in this. Mayor.
All right, I'm going to read the proclamation to you. Whereas the town of Surfside Beach is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting our state, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire, and whereas home fires caused 2,840 civilian deaths in the United States in 2021, according to the National Fire Protection Association. And fire departments in the United States responded to 338,000 home fires. And whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to the danger and event of a fire, which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safety. And whereas smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half, and whereas the town of Surfside Beach residents should be sure everyone in the home understands the sounds of the smoke alarms and knows how to respond. And whereas the town of Surfside Beach residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas the town of Surfside Beach residents will make their smoke and carbon monoxide alarms meet the needs of their family members, including those of sensory and physical disabilities. And whereas the town of Surfside Beach first responders are dedicated in reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas the town of Surfside Beach residents are responsive to public education measures, are better able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes, and better able to make personal steps to increase the safety of fire. And whereas the 2023 Fire Prevention Week theme, Cooking Safety Starts With You, pay attention to fire prevention, effectively serves to mind the town of Surfside Beach. It is important to have a home fire escape plan. Therefore, I, Robert Hellier, Mayor of the town of Surfside Beach, do hereby proclaim October 8th through 14th, 2023 as Fire Prevention Week throughout the state, and I urge all the people of the town of Surfside Beach to plan and practice a home fire escape for Fire Prevention Week 2023, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the town of Surfside Beach Fire and Emergency Service. Be it resolved this 10th day of October. And let's give a hand to it. And I hope everybody will go and visit them this weekend when they have their open house.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
Moving right along, the next thing are the director's report, and we're gonna start out with the fire department. Chief Carter, come on up.
Don't get comfortable.
Good evening again. Starting off with our September 23 summary of our incidents. We ran 132 calls last month. It was up 9% from 121 from the previous year, 2022. Going up to the chief's updates, I want to thank each one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come sit down and discuss expectations in the fire department. That meant a lot. Give me some directions during my time as the chief of what I need to look for, what I need to look at. The second part of that first bullet, is it okay to talk about that?
Sure.
Okay. I've talked with each one of you, talked with Mr. Vincent first, followed chain of command, and I've talked with each one of you. Many people do not know that we had a firefighter die in the line of duty. Assistant Chief Tom Anderson. Assistant Chief Anderson is recognized on the memorial wall in Emmitsburg, Maryland, from the National Fire Academy. He's also recognized in Columbia on our state wall. At no point that I know in the state on Surfside Beach is there a recognition, with no disrespect. I've asked the question of all of you, and that we look at naming our fire station, the town of Surfside Beach, Thomas E. Anderson Fire Station. I would like to know what other steps do I need to do to make this happen from you? Other than all of y'all agreed. So what other steps do I need to do to make this happen?
Work with the administrator.
Okay, all right.
That would be my suggestion.
Okay, yes. All right, awesome. Thank y'all very much. This means the world. Thank you.
And thank you for depending on.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, sir. Also during this month, I've been working with the finance department on the budget audit. We've completed I put on a hiring process, but an eligibility process. So hopefully when I get my refire, that we can put them straight to work and don't have any delays. We've not made any promises. It was an eligibility list, no promises. I've been working with Eric Robinson and Captain Wilbank on service plans for our department. We don't have any. Sorry. About now. Okay. With Eric Robinson on service plans to help better and save money with repairs and stuff around the firehouse. It's come that if we have service plans, we get better budgets and better service rates. And also when it comes to better prices on repairs and replacement of our doors, HVAC systems and so forth. We work with the directors also with the D4H program, which is an accountability program. All the directors have been part of the training and so forth in this. Gets accountability during storms, during events and so forth. That it can assist with recoupment of funds and so forth, and all that with accountability. Any questions on anything else? On the next page is the shift summary. You know, one part you see here just highlighted is the tactical surveys. This one thing we talked about a while ago about fire prevention. Our personnel are going out with Fire Marshal Williams. We're doing tactical plans of all the businesses for a better and quicker response to all these in case of an emergency. This is a very big part that's being done on paperwork and also put in a computer system, a database. Any other questions? And on the third page, you'll see where the fire inspections have been conducted for September 23. You'll see a process of assemblies and so forth. Everything that was completed was 225 violations. 176 of those were completed or corrected.
You've done a great job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you all.
And the next is Chief Hoffman.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, and citizens. I've got the monthly report for the police department for the month of September for you tonight. In September of 2023, we had an 18.7% decrease in calls for service from September of last year for 1,609 calls for service. Arrest and citation data between September of last year and September of this year showed a 1.6% decrease to 369. In the month of August or month of September, police department answered 1,609 calls for service. That resulted in 31 custodial arrests, 281 uniform traffic citations, 42 ordinance summonses were issued. That included parking citations. 15 criminal arrest warrants were issued. 6 of those were related to drug possession or distribution. The police department personnel transported 29 prisoners to J. Reuben Long Detention Center, and we issued 213 written warnings in lieu of uniform traffic citations. One notable event for you to mention is the police department applied for 2 grants through the South Carolina Department of Public Safety's Office of Highway Safety and Justice Programs. On September 22nd, we were notified that both had been awarded to the police department. We received both grants. One grant was in the amount of $38,786, and that was awarded to support the department's body-worn camera program. This will allow us to buy some body-worn camera equipment, provide storage and maintenance of our existing servers. The second grant was in the amount of $28,999 and awarded to support the police department's in-car camera video program to help us acquire some equipment, support maintenance, and increase our storage capabilities. These 2 grants will offset $67,785.87 in technology expenses, representing a savings to our taxpayers. The police department assisted with the Celebrate Surfside Festival. We provided 2 officers there for foot patrol and security, and our beach services team completed their season of service on the beach on September 15th of this year. That is the police department's report for September. I'll field any questions if you have any.
Anybody have any questions?
Sounds like you've had a pretty good September.
It's been a good one.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Glad to hear it.
Chief, have you got, I know you said you've been working on this transporting prisoners,
Yes, sir.
because that's very time consuming area. How far along are we?
Well, I think that we will probably be in kind of a holding pattern until council makes some decisions about facilities in the near future. That will determine maybe what we look like moving forward as far as holding facility here in Surfside or not. And then we've got to make some staffing decisions about how we want to handle transportation moving forward. I've got a couple of ideas, but we're not quite ready to present those.
Can it be outsourced?
The jail?
No, the transporting.
No.
Okay.
No. a certain class of officer will have to transport prisoners back and forth from J. Reuben. But I've got some creative ideas that I think may help us out. Because I think after the next council meeting, we may be able to get some direction from council about how you'd like to move forward with that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Next one is John Adair.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and citizens. I'm a month behind my report. The first meeting of the month is tough for me to get all my numbers together for because we're still getting our bills in with the tally up fleet and sanitation numbers. So the second meeting would probably be better to give the support in the future if that's a possibility. But anyway, for August of 2023, under sanitation service, we delivered 39 Moby carts to overflow rental property replacement and new ownership. Our sanitation supervisor responded to 77 calls regarding services or questions about bulk and yard debris pickup. The winter rollout program took effect. The summer program ended on September 9th, so our 3 customers are down to 1 time a week service again. On the recycling, 22 carts were delivered per owner request for overflow per sanitation. Request to upsize to 65-gallon recycling carts will be fulfilled. We have 300 new trash carts and 250 new recycling carts on order right now for the current budget year, which were funded in the budget. The recycling ones will be paid for with a grant from DHEC. On our street drainage division, crews continue to inspect and maintain drainage right-of-ways throughout the town for capacity and function. We're in the process of transitioning from our beach service over to stormwater maintenance, ditch and catch basin cleaning is starting up right now. The trash on the beach will be switched twice a week, starting October 1st. Crews are mowing and maintaining ditch lines, right of way, and Highway 17. And crews and streets and grounds prepared for the Hurricane Idalia, which came through, which those of you know, thankfully didn't do much damage to the town. However, we were approved to apply to FEMA for some reimbursement of funds just for emergency protective measures, just leading up to the storm and during the storm. So we'll get a little bit back from FEMA on that. I have a meeting later on this week about that with FEMA. In grounds, crews have been assisting a lot with preparation of the public spaces on the pier, putting up signage, trash can holders, and things like that, as well as their normal duties. They've really been stepping up. Fleet maintenance, in August, our mechanics repaired 105 repairs on town vehicles and equipment, in addition to 21 vehicles that received preventive maintenance. I also have a few bullets on the pier. I know there's not a pier report in the agenda, but I'll just address a few things. Most of you know that there's a punch list being worked on by the contractor. Many minor issues like excess caulking and HVAC drain pans, unlabeled items, some missing installation, missing junction box covers, things like that have been completed, subject to re-inspection, which is a good thing. Certain larger items like the spray foam installation under the buildings has been completed. Some of the interior stair, tread, nosing, and railing issues have been completed. All, again, subject to re-inspection in the near future. So we're pretty happy about that. The additional fire strobes in the restrooms, additional illuminated exit signs outside the stair tower doors are in progress. Those items were not on the original plans. They weren't bid upon, but they are required per code. So that's being addressed by the contractor right now. The ADA ramp railings are slowly being installed and delivered. All connections to concrete must be certified by our third-party inspector. The contractor will also have to rework some of the monumental stair railings upon completion of the ramp due to rejection by the design team. The pier lot is substantially complete. The only outstanding item is some protective bollards around the streetlights in the middle of the lot to protect them from getting hit. Today, we have reconfigured and reduced the active construction zone and reopened about 40 plus parking spaces to the public, as well as the access to Seaside Drive. Drivers can now also drive to the end of the lot to the turnaround and drive out the proper exit if they would like to. All directional signs and striping have also been installed. If anybody has any questions about any of this, please feel free to ask.
Mr. Mayor. John, I have got a question about stormwater. Where's that project at on the stormwater drainage system that we're supposed to be putting in?
The next phase of the North Side
Yes.
Drainage Project? Yeah, the
Yes.
state is actually gonna be bidding that out for us because they're giving us such a large grant from the South Carolina Office of Resiliency, $750,000. They've taken over, they're gonna be bidding that out for us. Right now, the project is under review by the state office, engineer's office, which they have to take our plans and make sure they approve of our plans and it meets all the state requirements. And then they're gonna bid it out this off-season sometime this winter.
So you think it will be the off-season when it gets started in?
Springtime, probably, yeah. Mhm. That's what we discussed in our last meeting, yeah. But,
Thanks.
but they're gonna handle all the procurement, the bid process and everything for us.
Okay.
It's just how they do things.
I know it's been marked for a good while now, and I just didn't know where it was going from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we were gonna bid it out ourselves this past, late winter, early spring, February, March. We were ready to bid it out, but then, they originally declined us for funding for the
Yeah.
$750,000. But then when they came back and said, we're gonna include you in the program and give you the money, but here's the catch. We'd have to go through all these reviews. So it's free money, so we're gonna have to put it back a little bit. I don't wanna turn down a gift.
Yeah, I don't either. Thanks, John.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
John, I know when Mr. Scalise sold us the pier and the parking land where the parking lot is, he carved out a little bit of the parking lot for himself, because he was still running an insurance business, I believe, at the time, out of the building. Real estate? Okay, it was real estate, not insurance, I guess. But anyway, how are we going to handle those spots that he has?
Well, when the pier was sold to us in 2008, again, like you said, there was 5 angled parking spaces alongside the building. And don't forget, at the time, there was a parking requirement down there for that particular type of office. So those 5 spaces helped him meet his parking requirement. Since the E-District has been created, there's no longer a parking requirement down there. Although if he chose to put them back, we would allow him to put them back. However, we granted them an easement at the time to drive over our land to get in and out of those parking spaces. That was part of the deal. It was part of the deed and the recorded easement at the time. They seem, from the best of my knowledge, like they're not going to use that for parking anymore. So we've actually had that property line surveyed and striped now, and they're gonna have to stay behind that line if they're not gonna use it for parking, because the easement is not to do general business and to expand your footprint. It's just to access your parking space. So there's no parking spaces, there's no easement.
So I wonder then if they're not going to use it for parking, it's going to be used for dining. Should maybe the town think about some sort of a barrier between where
Well-
people would be eating and people parking?
Yeah, well, they have a barrier that they've created out of planter boxes. I've communicated after review of the easement with the administrator and our town attorney. I've sent an email to one of the owners of the property advising him that the easement that they do have does not apply to that use that they would like to use it for. So they're gonna have to stay on their side of the line, and we'll have to take it from there and see if they comply with that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions? Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome. If anybody would like to see my peer bullets.
Your turn.
It's my turn. You go first.
I'll take it.
You're welcome. Good evening, everyone. I'm just gonna start with the most exciting news, and that was our Fall Family Festival was a huge success. And we had so many people there. It was so much fun. I could not have done it without all of our partners, Public Works, of course, our fire department, our police department, our volunteers, Carter's Barbecue, who fed everybody, so thank you for that. We had great reviews all the way around. Everybody had nothing but good things to say, which was pretty awesome. So past that, our last Music in the Park was held on October the 1st. So each week we averaged about 100 people, plus or minus, depending on what day and how hot it was. But people are really anxious to continue that next year, so I look forward to that. The Celebrate Surfside Beach Festival was a success. We had zero problems out of that festival. The charities continue to roll. It was Backpack Buddies Help for Kids this past time. $2,500 went to that charity. So that was a great amount raised for them. We had business with a twist per our business committee. That was a very nice success. That was located at Maureen's Place, Ocean's Edge. Ocean's Edge. So that was a lot of fun. Thank you for all of you that come to these events, but that specific one, we had a great turnout from some of our candidates and some that are currently sitting. So thank you for that. The next thing coming up is our Halloween festivities. We're really excited about that. We've got the Ride Run Car Show, the Champion Autism Network, Best of the Beach Balls Meatball Challenge. I try to say that in the right way. And then, of course, we finish the day up with our Halloween golf cart parade. So it all starts at 10, then it runs into 11 for the Meatball Challenge, and then 3 o'clock for the golf cart parade. So we're really excited for that. And then we're already making preparations with the Rotary Club on the upcoming turkey trot. So we're pretty excited about that as well. Wanted to go up to communication. So I continue to work on the town's website, the Visit Surfside Beach website also. Be patient with me. I'm going through it page by page. So we are making improvements to that. I will make the finale pieces, which means all the user-friendly buttons once I get the websites up to standard, if you will. We continue our partnership with the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce for tourism. Some good news, cool. The quarterly news letter is going to be coming back in 2024. So our town administrator said yes. So that is the quarterly newsletter. You'll receive 4 of those in 2024. And it is just the communication that's going on in the town. And I love this because not everyone is on social media and not everyone understands how to use a website. So I think it's great for our citizens. Again, we continue partnership with radio, newspaper, and television to promote our town as the family beach and make sure that all of our events and just round the house things that happen in the town are noted. I'm really happy to say that we have hit 30,000 followers on our town Facebook page. That's a big win for us. So that's really exciting. And then soon to come, we produced a peer video for our website. So I'm really excited for that to get released. And as soon as it gets released, I'll make sure everybody knows on all channels. And then another really exciting thing that we've done this year is for 2024. And I don't know if you guys all know this, but there's a town planner calendar. And that is available to everyone in the town. You just have to come into town hall and get one. It's free to everybody. Well, this 2024 year is going to have everything Surfside Beach. So it's not going to be Grand Strand. It's going to be very focused. All the images, all the events are going to be very focused on the town of Surfside Beach. So I'm really excited about that. And then my final thing for you guys is, drum roll please. We have designed new shirts for our town with the new pier, a new little logo. They are available as of right now. You can come into town hall and you can get those. And the most exciting part of that is we have added to our merchandise, and that is hoodie sweatshirts. So those are available for $25, and the t-shirts are the same price as they've always been. So really excited about that. I hope you guys all come in. And the color selection, I'll just say, is our cool colors, of course, our normal colors, but we've added some football ambiance to it. So you might be excited about that as well, all of you guys. So that's all I have for you this evening. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Mr. Mayor, I was over at Town Hall today and happened to get to see the new shirts. Listen, y'all, best shirts we've had in town in forever. They are so nice. So I guess I'm selling. Go over and get you one, because they really are nice.
Thank you so
How many
much.
did you buy?
Thank you.
They wasn't ready to get them out, they was cleaning.
They're still in the
cabinet.
boxes.
They was cleaning the cabinet to put one in.
Yes, we were cleaning cabinets and yes, thank you so much.
They were really nice.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I would just like to know, since Twitter got bought out, is the town having any issues, or do we Twitter, do we tweet? Oh, okay, we don't.
Not at this time.
Okay, because I know a friend.
I think it's
I
X
don't
now,
either.
right?
I don't do any social media, so I don't really know, but a friend of mine called something about you can have Twitter feeds that scroll by and stuff, and who's having problems with it. I'm his computer support, but I know nothing about it, so I couldn't help him out. But
Okay.
I just wondered if we were having any issues, but if we don't use it, then we don't.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Isabel could probably do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tabitha.
Of course.
Okay, the last thing on the agenda. Oh, not the last thing, but almost the last thing. Under business is the first reading of ordinance 230961, an ordinance of the town of Surfside Beach to amend the business license ordinance of the town of Surfside Beach to update the class schedule as required by Act 176 of 2020. Director Freeman Gruber.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept ordinance 23-0961 for first reading.
Second.
Hi.
Melanie, Melanie, one second. Mayor, just before she speaks, I just want to introduce Melanie because this is her first meeting as finance director. So Melanie came to us back when we were going through our transition in the finance department. So she's been working with us under contract during the summer, and then she decided to actually apply for the position. She started full-time on September the 18th. But just to give you some background, Melanie is a West Virginia graduate, a master's degree in Winthrop University. She's a Governor Finance Officer Association certified and has certifications in the finance field. She comes to us from Horry County, with 21 years of experience in finance, and her family resides in Myrtle Beach. So welcome, Melanie.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Easing me in here, so I'm here to present ordinance 23-961. So South Carolina's Act 176, the Business License Standardization Act, requires every municipality and county government with business license tax to update its business license class schedule every odd numbered year to go into effect the following year. So as such, 2023 is the time to update our business license class schedule, which is Exhibit A in your packet. That lets us remain in compliance with state law. And if there's any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
Yep, I mean, Mr. Mayor, if I may, I think just for clarification purposes, just step through exactly what is changing in the ordinances. Some of the ordinance that was attached in our packet was less than clear as to what exactly was changing. So I compared what is existing in the Muni Code that we had approved when we rewrote this back in 21. So, you know, according to the revised ordinance that we now have in front of us, it's clearer that for the NIAX Code 8.3, we are just adding 5173122 to the list of NIAX codes that would be applicable to telephone companies. For NIAX Code 8.6, we had previously identified that as NIAX Code 713990. However, now it just says code varies. So, you know, have we done an evaluation of these changes to see how many of our business licenses are impacted by these changes? Because I'm not sure if our ordinance just says, and you know, the state code just says codes vary, well, what do they vary by?
I do not have the answer for that right now, but I will get you that answer.
Okay, because, we had specifically this code, and if the business participated under that code, these were the fees they paid. So I'm just not sure if the billiard or pool hall comes forward and applies for a business license,
Right,
how do we know which code to assign it, or, which fees to apply? Because this says codes vary, but it does define the same
yeah, class
Fees.
8.6.
that were in 8.6. So I think that would just be a point of confusion potentially for our businesses. Now, in 9X code 454390 in section 9.4, it says we are going to delete 941 and 942, which basically provides what are the fees for the peddlers, solicitors, canvassers, and door-to-door sales. So if we delete paragraphs 9.4 and 942 in their entirety, as directed by the state regulation, there's nothing left that tells us what are the fees for NIAX code 454390. So I just wondered if maybe we really shouldn't be deleting them in their entirety, but maybe modifying it to read, they're both now going to be the same or something. There has to be some fee schedule associated with section 9.4. And by deleting those two paragraphs, there's no longer a fee schedule. And as far as the changes to Appendix B, there really are quite a few changes. So I had recommended that, the paragraphs that were in the original ordinance that we received in our package didn't really tell us what was changing.
Yes, and what I had got that NAICS 11, that is the agriculture, forestry, hunting, and fishing, that went from a class 2 to a 1. Mining went from a 4 to a 2. And then you go down to 56, administrative and support and waste management and remediation services, that went from a 4 to a 3. Same with educational services, 4 to a 3. And then down 722, food services and drinking places went from a 1 to a 2. And other services went from 5 to a 4.
Well, there's more changes in that in Appendix B, because they have eliminated NIAC Sector 23 construction, because I assume because it's in section 8.1, I assume is why that disappeared. But there are 6 other codes that have been removed. There are several others that have changed classes. For example, 31 to 33 manufacturing, that has been changed from a 2 to a 3. 48 to 49, which has been changed from a 2 to a 1. So anyway, instead of trying to set out each one of these details, the paragraphs provided in the state recommended ordinance didn't really change our ordinance. So what I had recommended that Sherry do is just to say, we're going to delete Appendix B and we're going to attach it with what's there. That way, we're sure all the changes are made, because when taking an ordinance like this, we really have to be thinking in the mind of how is the codifier going to take this and modify our Municode file. And if it doesn't give clear direction of what changes specifically by change this 2 to a 1 or whatever, it's much easier just to say, delete that, put this one in there. So when we get to the other paragraphs, it's easier for him to say, or for him or her to look at it and say, oh, we're adding this number to this paragraph. So that's basically what has changed with the ordinance itself. But I think there's still a couple open questions that we need to have answered on 8.6 and 9.4
Okay,
before coming forward with the second reading.
okay. I will find those answers out.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm, You're welcome.
Are there any other questions before we do the first vote on the first reading? Sherry?
Mr. Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Holder?
Yes.
Mrs. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Kinkin?
Yes.
Mr. Krecklo?
Yes.
Mr. Stamey?
Yes.
Mayor Hilliard?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next thing on the agenda is public comments, and these are public comments in reference to town services or business conducted. So anybody with public comments, feel free to step up. So we have no public comments. There we go.
And I don't know if I can, well, let's get this part done. Sean Fallon, 411 Cedar Drive North. So stop me if I can't say this, but I just saw the business thing going on. And this is, I want to ask, do we have a used car lot business in Surfside?
Yes.
Are we allowed to have that?
You can
sorry.
answer.
We're not allowed to answer questions. to the
Okay.
public.
So if somebody could direct me maybe after the meeting, it used to be a restaurant, Rick's Fish House. I was told as long as they serve food, because it was a restaurant, but now it's starting to look like a used car lot. So maybe somebody can direct me who I can go to find out if there is actually,
The zoning office.
do we allow, well, I'll have to ask that later too. Never mind.
Robert Kraus, Fourth Avenue North. One reason I didn't get up right away is because I'm looking at the agenda here and it still has one more item on it, a resolution, the Council of Surfside Beach, South Carolina adopting a social media policy. So I'm confused, but I'm holding
Did you
the
pull it
paper.
online?
No,
No, it's right
like
here.
that.
That
Because
was my mistake. I printed the wrong one.
what,
Social media was removed.
okay, well, what confused me was because I did look online and it's not there. And I really find that concerning. Last meeting, we took up almost the entire meeting on a peer code violation report and a social media policy. And today, neither of those was on the agenda and it's as if nothing happened. And I'm glad that Mr. Adair saw fit to put some comments in about the pier. Well, that wasn't in his report before the meeting. So these are huge issues. The pier's been going on forever. I think this council, this town owes regular updates every meeting. At this point, at this juncture, we need to know what's going on. And the social media policy, that's huge too. We cannot get in the business, no government can get in the business of censorship. So I think we should get regular updates on that until it's resolved. Thank you.
Harry Coleman, 10th Avenue North. I also, going around campaigning, one of the biggest questions I've gotten is what's happening with Rick's Seafood Place. I did inquire, and they have permits or licenses to have a car lot, an office, and a restaurant there. So they're legit. We don't regulate ugly. It's not exactly the greatest thing on there. And also, a lot of other people are also asking about the lot down by 8th Avenue South, which Consensus is using. That was already negotiated with Consensus, with the interim planning director, Ms. Coleman, who was here. It's totally legit, but it's not, it is another eyesore. So that's okay. We gotta do a little bit better next time, maybe. Business 17 corridor is a mess. It needs to be fixed. They're trying to fix it on the comprehensive plan. Hopefully they'll come up with some great ideas. Also this Saturday, I've been trying to get around to everyone. It's hard to get everyone's door, so what I'm having is a meet and greet and a drop in at my house, 610 10th Avenue North. Everyone's welcome. It's between 2 and 5 p.m. Thank you.
Okay, with that, next thing will be the town council comments. So we'll start out with Ms. Keeler.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming out, and I want to particularly congratulate Ms. Lewis, that's quite an honor for not only you, but the town of Surfside. Appreciate that. Congratulations. I also want to thank everybody for their messages and emails that I have received with questions. I try to answer them as best I can. I appreciate Mr. Coleman stepping up and answering a couple questions that I've gotten inquiries on those same two topics. There was also one about, God, it just lost my train of thought. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, I appreciate people reaching out and asking the questions and getting the information. And as best I can, I provide it. If not, I direct them to the proper staff member that can answer the question, because that's where the truth comes from. Instead of relying on people that say, well, I heard, or maybe it's this, or casting their aspersions on what they think it should or should not be. So I want to wish everybody that's running for election very good luck. I hope you achieve what you set out to do. And I will guarantee that if you win a seat on this council, it will be a very huge learning experience for you. So, but good luck. Thanks for everyone coming out, and we will see you back in a couple weeks.
Mr. Holder.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight also. And I also want to congratulate Isabel on her being the overall wing student. So it's great that she's here tonight. But I'd like to thank the fire department and Larry Carter for their work that they've been doing. And I'm very honored that my brother-in-law is being recognized. Tom died in 2002. And we're exactly the same age. So it's somebody I really felt I missed. So it's an honor to have this done. So thank you very much. And thank you.
Mr. Kincaid.
Isabella, congratulations to you and thank you for being here. You brightened up the room. Everybody else, I appreciate everybody showing up. I hope a lot of people are listening online. I encourage you to take time and talk to the people running. They need to hear your concerns because they can bring them to us. I don't hear a lot of concerns. I hear a few, but not a lot. But take the time and talk to these folks. They're making a lot of effort to get elected, and give them the time to hear from you. Let you take the time to tell them what you think this town needs. It'll eventually get to council. I just think it's hugely important. I hope there are a lot of people listening in, but anyway, I saw something this past week that bothers me again, and so I'm going to bring it up. There was a post on Facebook that we do not have clear fault placed on consensus. I actually totally disagree with this. At our last meeting, I told the engineer that I was on the ramp in October. And I asked him, when did the railings get ordered? Because there was none in October of last year. Well, he stated that they sent a letter to consensus on December 21 stating they needed the information for the railings. He also said that they did not reply until 22. No, 23. We were supposed to be finished in April of 23. That's what they told us last year in October 22, that it'd be done in April. Well, here it is, October 23, and we're still not done. And I don't know if the delay was due to staffing, issues with cash flow, or just plain negligence. But here we are 6 months later dealing with the installation. I just don't feel like they ever intended to have this pier done in April of 23. And that's the closest thing I can come to it, that if they can't finish the pier, they can put the railings on, and they didn't even order the railings to April. That's no way. We can't request that they make up for the lost season. I mean, we're supposed to have a pier for the summer. Supposed to get income from that. There's no way we can make up for that. But I do think we can charge the $500 a day starting May 2nd or May 16th or whenever the date is. It needs to be done. Now I'm through with my rant. I want to thank our staff, first responders, for operating and maintaining our town. We have a great place to live. We're very blessed to be here. And with that, I want to say, God continue blessing all of you. Thank you.
Mr. Craig.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight and tuning in. And I'd like to thank Isabel for your beauty in our councilman today. You did very good on your pageant. And John, thank you for your updates. You did very well on that. And Chief, Fire Department, I appreciate what you brought to us. And I think that is something that we need an administrator to bring into us immediately so the sign can be ordered and it can be changed. That's something very much that we need to represent our fallen heroes. And thank you, everybody, for what you do for the town of Surfside Beach. We live in a beautiful town, very small town, and we're all grateful to be here. Thank you all very much.
Mr. Cranklaw.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and listening in. I'd like to thank all the candidates that are running, and like Mr. Hinkins says, try to talk to them all. Make your own decision on who you would like to be up here running your town. If you're not pleased with the way things are going, get active and try to change them. I'd like to thank Isabel for showing up, and good luck in education. I used to repair computers in secondary schools, and it's trying sometimes. But anyway, with that, good night and see you next time.
Mr. Stamey.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out, and I too would like to thank Isabel. I have seen Go Sharks. I have a granddaughter who dances on your dance team, so I have seen you. Y'all are good, really good. Anybody wants to see, they're at home games over at St. James every Friday night. They dance a lot, so come on over. We'll be enjoyed to have you. But thanks for coming out. I appreciate you being here. And like everybody else said, you brighten up the room. With that said, I'd like to thank Larry. Larry, you brought up something that's really dear to every one of us' heart. To somebody that has lived in this town, worked in this town, and he's a fallen hero. I am so glad that you've done this. As I told you when I met with you, I support you 100%. And our administrator will get behind that and get something done. And for the rest of my staff, listen, y'all, you don't know how much I appreciate the work you do. Grounds, fire department, police department, every one of you. We're making a change in town. A lot of people don't want to see it. All they want to do is print the negative stuff. But we are making a change in the town, and it's getting better, and it's going to get better. So, and get out and meet your candidates who are gonna run this town. It's gonna get up here and help us run it and make these big decisions, because we still got a lot of decisions to make. It's gonna be a lot of money, and I want everybody to be involved in it. With saying that, thanks to our administrator who has put in such hard work since he's been here. I do appreciate it, Jerry, and I want you to know that. I know the hard work is behind what you stepped into when you come into this place. But believe me, you've done a great job so far, and I appreciate it. With that, good night, everybody.
Well, I'm sorry Miss Fallon left, because I was gonna answer her question, when I did that, but I'll answer the question for everybody. I know Harry answered, part of it, but, it started out a long time ago when COVID hit. Rick's Fish House decided they couldn't stay open any longer, so they left. Okay, then when COVID was over, Rick's wanted to come back, and they didn't want to come back. They wanted to use the property for something else. So all of a sudden, there were all sorts of cars parked on it. And I requested it, and I went in and I said, you got motorboats and tractors and stuff like that on it. And I said, there's a whole lot. And I was told by planning and zoning that they had applied to be a car lot. And that they met all the requirements. They had to do some landscaping in the very front of it in order to do that, and they did. So, that was sort of a moot point. And then all of a sudden I see Far Rockaway's sign lit up that says, that they have chicken and rice on certain nights. But there isn't anything that says, every night or one night a week. I guess it's whenever somebody wants to be there, the sign's on. And it isn't. And I haven't really figured out how it goes. And I asked the same question, and basically our planning and zoning has said that that's, they have met all the requirements, and that they have their business license. They have a business license to do the food. They have a business license to do that. Now, my question is that every car dealer in the state of South Carolina has to be regulated by the Division of Motor Vehicles. And I don't know if they have the regulations, or they're meeting the state requirements. And here again, I don't know if the part about the restaurant, in order to run a restaurant, you have to have food inspections, you have to have everything else. And the last inspections I know of on that property were done for the fish house. So that's something that we probably should look into, but it's not like I haven't looked into it before. With that, I want to thank Miss Sunshine and overall Queen. You do a justice for Surfside Beach, and we're very proud of you and what you've done for us. And Larry, the part about naming the fire department, all I can say is it's about time. And, council, you can see is for that. We're going to work with the town administrator, and I'm sure that's going to happen. But I think that everybody here ought to realize what the public safety and the fire department does for you. And when they have an open house, you should go in and meet everybody and see what it is. And if you have questions about fire safety or something, that's the place to go ask and get it done. So with that, I hope everybody has a good week. I hope everybody is looking forward to the events that we have coming on. And you guys have a good evening. And with that, I would need a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. This meeting is adjourned.
Where's it at?